Hello guys, it's Mav here. I wanted to make a little bit of a quick video, a little bit of a quick overview of the new August patch or dev update that the developers of DBD has come out with just today, but regarding the new patch of 9.2. I have a lot to say. I have a lot of things to go through, so let's try and make this as quick as possible. And let's get right to it, because there's a lot of things here that I just simply don't get. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why this is a turn that we're taking as such a drastic shift that we are taking towards this game's balance. But we will absolutely get into that. So, first thing, the slugging reduction update. The slugging reduction update, I think overall, it's just a little too much, in my opinion. I feel like it's a little too lenient for survivors. It's a little bit too favored in survivors. You're basically getting a free tenacity. You don't have to hold a button anymore, which I think is fine. I think not holding the button to recover from your slug, I think that's totally fine. I don't see a problem with that. It's just a nice little quality of life feature, because why would you not want to do that anyway? But the basic tenacity, on top of the fact that you can now recover from the ground after 90 seconds, it's just ridiculous. It's just completely ridiculous, and this has no other condition other than being slugged for 90 seconds. And again, 90 seconds, fine. Like, 90 seconds is a long time. Sure. However, you also have to remember there are some killers in this game that rely on slugging to be efficient, and that have a strength in slugging. Oni is an example. Twins as well. They are both killers that are very, very strong at slugging, and this all of a sudden just makes that strength worse, because if you want to create any sort of pressure through your slug, you just can't, which is, you have to pick up immediately, or else you might risk your entire not pick up immediately, but at least pick up within a certain amount of time, or else you might just lose all the pressure that you've just made for literally zero reason, which is just completely incredible to me, at least. I don't understand why this isn't a thing that was tested before. I don't really think this that great of a thing, to be honest. It just makes killer even more stressful, which is also where we come to the next part of the update. The tunneling reduction update. Now, this one is probably the one that I dislike the most. I am not for this at all. I think the way that they're approaching this is completely backwards and is so tilted towards the survivor's favor. It is completely blatant, in my opinion. When a survivor's hooked, their hook status is hidden from the killer. When they're unhooked, there is no notification, and their hook status isn't revealed immediately. This, I would agree, would probably be a good change. There's a problem. The reason why this is really, really bad for killer is because now you're removing probably one of the most important tools of information that killer can have in the 1v4. Which outright just makes some killers even worse. Like, even worse than they already were, because some killers' strength is tunneling, and now you're basically preventing them from being able to tunnel in any sort of way, because they're not getting any information on, okay, when can I actually get the tunnel off, right? Which is just insane to me. This is disable once all generators are completed. Fair. But still, this should not be in the game. I cannot, for the life of me, see why this is something that we're going ahead and doing at all. This doesn't make sense to me. Unhooked survivors gain the following effects for a limited time: haste, endurance, and elusive. We'll be reading about that too. No collision with other players, both killer and survivor. Immunity to killer instinct and seize the killer's aura nearby. These effects are lost when the affected survivor perform a conspicuous action. So that's like touching a gen, doing a totem, pretty much doing anything that is like quote unquote impactful for the match or healing, right? So yeah. All these effects except haste and endurance are disabled once all generators are completed. So that is just insane. Like, that's just insane. So you don't have any collision with the killer or survivor. Any killer or survivor, so you can literally just run through the killer if that is what you want to do. And immunity to killer instinct, and see the kills are nearby. Like, why are we giving this? Why are we giving the survivors pretty much free wall hacks? Like, why are we doing that? Like why are we doing that? Like, there's really no reason for this at all. It just seems so completely like blatant to me that this is just completely fucking overtuned, and pretty much all of this just should not go through, both for survivor and killer. Absolutely. Like, this is just the absolute fucking worst way to go about this. But we'll read killer before I get into my full thoughts about this. Added a unique effect to the killer's hook state UI that indicates the last survivor they hooked. After completing a unique hook, the same survivor is not hooked consecutively. Killers get the following benefits: bonus damage for the next generator, so basically like a mini Pop Goes the Weasel. A temporary haste status effect, which is fine, I guess. Yeah. What's it called? Where was I at? Okay, so bonus damage for the next generator kick. Temporary haste status effect, which is fine. Temporary reveals survivors, which is like base kit, barbecue, and chili, whatever, that have less or equal hook states to the hooked survivor. So that's there, right? These effects are slightly lessened for the Blight, Dark Lord, Ghoul, Hillbilly, and others. So basically just what's it called? The killers that have a lot of mobility, basically. These effects are disabled once all generators are completed, so it's basically like the same with the survivor changes. And if a survivor dies before 6 total hook states, all remaining survivors gain a repair speed bonus for the rest of the trial. If a survivor that was last hooked is sacrificed or killed, generators cannot be regressed or blocked. Added the option to enable or disable these new mechanics in custom games, and updated several survivor and killer perks to account for these changes. Now, we will have to see what these changes are for these perks, but I can already tell you right now, this is going to make just about every single low tier killer in this game that hinges and basically feeds into these playstyles complete and utterly unplayable. How am I supposed to play Trickster with this? If I need to go ahead and create some sort of pressure, I can't. I can't slug. They'll just be able to pick themselves up after 90 seconds. I can't tunnel. If I tunnel, their fucking, what's it called, repair speeds gets faster, and now I can't regress any gens if somebody dies. If somebody dies, I just can't regress gens, and I can't block them. So, literally, the only killers that you'll ever see are literally the 5 killers mentioned: Blight, Dark Lord, Ghoul, Hillbilly, and Nurse. That's it. Those are the only killers you'll ever see, because they can actually hold their own without even having any perks. So, basically, what you're saying is, stop playing low tier, start playing high tier, because we want you to play this specific way because players don't like when other people play in this way. They're basically streamlining Killer and saying, fuck you, play the game how we want you to play it. Because we told you so. Which is just such an insane thing to do, in my opinion. I think it's crazy. Dead by Daylight is a game where your objective as the killer is to kill the survivors by any means necessary. Now you're basically saying, you have to kill the survivors in this specific way that we're telling you to. If you don't do it the way that we're telling you to do it, we're going to punish you for doing that. Which is crazy. And the thing is, this is actively encouraging survivors to be tunneled. I can guarantee you, the moment that you begin to see that this comes around, I can fucking guarantee you, Shoulder of the Burden is gonna be used. It's gonna be used. Almost every game. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. And the reason why it's gonna get used is because Survivor's gonna go down, get on the hook, and those Survivor's gonna rescue. They're probably on second hook, they're gonna shoulder the burden, throw themselves at the fucking killer, and now all of a sudden, everybody else is pretty much safe. Let's just say everybody else is pretty much safe, and you only have the tunnel to go for. And now everybody's gen speed is faster. And when they die, you cannot regress any gens. Like, you can't regress any gens, they have faster gen speeds, like... Rewarding survivors with gen speed for having a person die before 6 hook stages is insane, especially because gens don't take as long as survivors players think they do. A lot of survivor players think that gens take fucking forever to complete. They do not. If they take a long time for you to complete, you're not doing gens. It's as simple as that. You're just not on gens. So, this is completely insane to me that they're even considering this change, in my opinion. I don't think this is at all like, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking with this, but I guess we'll just have to see what the numbers are for this. But this is so scary. Like, it's such a scary change, and I only think that this is going to make Killer an even more miserable experience. Because the fucking pros for Killer, like, they're nothing in comparison to the pros for Survivor. They're just not. Then we have the elusive status effect that was mentioned up here, right? Added a new status effect that silences grunts of pain and suppresses a survivor aura, pools of blood, and scratch marks, which makes it even harder for you to find the person that just got off the hook. Yes. Because that's exactly what we needed. Now we're coming to the killer updates. Michael Myers is basically a dash killer now. Replace the evil with 2 modes that can be toggled with a button press. Stalker mode, 4.2 meters per second, movement speed undetectable against stalk survivors. 4.6% movement speed pursuer mode, 24 meter terror radius, increased vault speed, bonuses to launch range, break speed, and stun recovery, and cannot stalk survivors. Once the stalk meter is full, evil incarnate mode can be triggered at will, granting the following effects for a limited time. 4.6 meters per second movement speed, 40 meter terror radius, and an increased vault speed. Unlocks Slaughtering Strike ability. Hold the power button to charge this ability, reducing movement speed. Press the attack button while charging to quickly lunge forward, adjusting your angle as you move. The length of the lunge depends on charge time. If a survivor enters the killer's attack range while lunging, they are knocked into the dying state. This ability can also be used to destroy pallets. Unlocks the ability to grab and kill or perform a regular Mori on survivors who would die the next time they are hooked. Adjusted some of the mechanics of stalking, removed the limited pool of stalk points for survivors, reduced stalk range 32 meters and removed distance modifier. Moving while stalking has increased movement speed but incurs a reduced stalk rate, and reworked his add-ons. So, they're basically saying, let's just make an insta-down dash slop killer instead, because the other thing clearly did not work. Why? I don't know. This, in my opinion, completely ruins the identity of what Myers was, and I don't know what to think about it. We'll have to see what it is whenever it comes out, and how it is. But I don't know if I like it. The Clown increased activation time of the afterpiece antidote, not tonic, antidote. Increases how long the afterpiece tonic's hindered effect lingers after leaving the smoke. So it's just like a few tunings to Clown because people weren't so happy with the haste stuff for Clown, me included. The Unknown increased the additional time added to weakened when injured by UVX projectile, which is nice. Increased movement speed recovery after teleporting, which is also nice. And increased camera vertical range, which is also very good. You can see it right there. It's very, very good. Much nicer. And adjusted several add-ons, which is also very, very nice. We'll have to see what it's all about. Then we have the Dark Lord, slightly reduced Hellfire cooldown, which is nice. Increased total Hellfire pillars by 1, which is also very nice. Reduced Hellfire charge movement speed, also very nice. Slightly increased slowdown time after casting Hellfire. These are overall just buffs to his vampire form, which I think is fine. It was the least used mode. It wasn't super insane, so I think this is completely fine. Increased pounce attack charge time, increased scent orb spawn time for the wolf form, which I think it's okay. Like, it's nothing too crazy. Increased movement friction to make flying easier to control, which I think is a little bit just kind of fine. Adjust this as add-ons, right? Then we have the Ghoul. When grabbing a survivor on the other side of a vault with Conquering Leap, survivor is released at the start of the Ghoul's vault instead of at the end. So this basically just prevents this quote-unquote kidnap tech, I guess. So that's about it. And then they gave only some compensation for him not being able to slug as well anymore with hooking a survivor. Now spawns more blood orbs. So that's about it. And then we have some perk updates that will arrive later. However, the thing that I think will absolutely... We also have tome and lore updates. So yeah, that's also a thing, in case you care about that. I mean, I do like the lore of the game, but we'll have to see whether or not it's good. But this one I have right here on my screen, the tunneling reduction update. I don't think the slugging update, the slugging reduction update will matter as much. I think this one won't matter as much as something like this one, tunneling reduction update. This, I'm just gonna say it as it is, okay? This might honestly make just about every single low tier killer in this game completely worthless. It might make them completely worthless because a lot of the low tier killers in the roster, they rely on this shit. They rely on tunneling. They rely on slugging to be able to perform well. So you can't camp anymore. You can't slug anymore. You can't tunnel anymore to try and get yourself ahead of the competition, because now, quite frankly, you're getting punished for it. You're getting punished for that. And you're getting even more punished for it if you do it before 6 hook states. Which, by the way, if you're playing against a good team and you're struggling, that's a lot of hook states. I'm gonna be real. I played against fucking Dan from Team Eternal on my artist. I posted that shit on my fucking Twitter. I played against against fucking Dan with my artist. I didn't even get 2. So against competent players and good players, not being able to tunnel is a fucking death sentence. It's a literal death sentence. Whenever you're loading in as a lower tier killer. Not saying Artist is a lower tier killer, I think he's very much in the middle. But still, just the fact that this is a thing that is happening right now as we speak, and that they're even considering this change, in my eyes, is completely uncalled for. I don't see how this is going to make... Like, sure, it's gonna make the gameplay absolutely smooth and great for Survivor because they get pretty much every single advantage ever known to exist. But Killer is getting fucking nothing. They're getting literally nothing out of this. And before anybody says, oh, bonus damage for the next generator kick and temporary haste status effect, as well as mini barbecue and chili. The barbecue and chili doesn't matter because where are survivors going to be 90% of the time during the game? Generators. And that is why you're patrolling to begin with, so that doesn't matter. Also, temporary haste status effect, that is nice. Sure, that is nice. You can get from one survivor to another quicker, and that's pretty nice. It's pretty decent. However, this doesn't matter at all. This doesn't matter at all because we don't know how much haste it is. If it's 5%, if it's 10%, we don't know. But we'll have to see. And bonus damage for the next generator kick, we'll also have to see what that is about. But if it's something like 10%, this is dog shit. If it's only like 10% or something like that, then this is completely useless. Like, there's literally no reason to do it. I would much rather want a survivor out of the game early if I'm behind, rather than getting extra 10% regression on my next gen kick. They don't even compare. So, this is like... I don't see, like, this has to be some great bonuses, this has to be some great fucking bonuses, because if they're not, cancel it. Straight up cancel it. Because if I'm reading this correctly, no, this is a limited time, great, this is a limited time. So, that's good. That's a limited time. Still, it's crazy. I don't get it. I usually try to look at it from both sides, but right now, my absolute, like, my fucking killer brain, my killer main mind, sees this and it's screaming. It's screaming. Like it's... Like something's wrong, something that's about to burst out of my chest and eat me alive. Like, I don't understand the sentiment, I don't understand the thought process. It could be good. That is the thing, it could be good, but I think the way that they have chosen to implement it and the bonuses that they've chosen for its implementation are just not good. It's just not good. The numbers on this for Killer have to be insane, or else this just doesn't work. That's all I'm gonna say. It has to be insane, or else this just does not work. But yeah, I think I'm done. I think I got everything out that I needed to. This is more of like a rant than anything, really, to be honest. But yeah, I'll figure out the fucking title of the video afterwards. But Jesus Christ, this is probably a disaster that is about to strike Dead by Daylight, at least for the Killer side, depending on the numbers of this. I might go on the PTB and test it out, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's truly, truly scary. I have no words, but I hope that anything that I said made sense. I hope that you at least agree with some of the things I said. If not, please let me know in the comments, and please let me know what you think about this, because I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say anymore. But yeah, I'll see you another time. I stream often on twitch.tv/MathTheDane. If you want to come over and take a look, we have a great time over there. We play Dead by Daylight, we play World of Warcraft, all kinds of stuff over there, so... This is scary. Truly scary. But I'll see you another time. Bye, everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye.